Bad Bunny, from supermarket bag boy to global icon. Chapter 1. A Kid with a Choir Voice. Benito Antonio Martínez Ocasio, known worldwide as Bad Bunny, was born and raised in Vega Baja, Puerto Rico. He grew up in a working-class family. His mother was a schoolteacher. His father drove trucks. Music wasn't a strategic career path. It was part of everyday life. As a child, he sang in the church choir. That early exposure shaped his ear for melody long before he entered the world of trap and reggaeton. By his teenage years, he was deeply influenced by Puerto Rico's urban scene. Instead of chasing American pop trends, he absorbed the sound developing around him. That foundation would later become one of his greatest strengths: cultural rootedness. Chapter 2. SoundCloud and the Supermarket. While studying audiovisual communication at university, Benito worked as a supermarket bagger. In his spare time, he uploaded songs to SoundCloud. No major label, no PR campaign, no industry network, just consistency and creative instinct. One of his early tracks, Diles, began circulating online and caught the attention of DJ Luian, who signed him to Hear This Music. Here's what separated Bad Bunny early on. He didn't attempt to neutralize his accent. He didn't adjust his slang. He didn't soften his style to appeal to English-speaking markets. Instead, he doubled down on authenticity. In an industry often built on adaptation, he chose identity. Chapter 3. The Latin Trap Explosion. Between 2016 and 2017, Bad Bunny emerged as a defining voice of Latin trap. Songs like Soy Peor and Tu no metes cabra resonated widely across streaming platforms. But the real innovation wasn't just in the beats. It was the emotional tone. He introduced vulnerability into a genre traditionally dominated by hypermasculinity. He spoke openly about heartbreak, jealousy, insecurity, and emotional chaos. This shift made him relatable beyond surface-level bravado. Streaming culture amplified his rise. Without relying on radio dominance, he built momentum digitally. Audience first, industry second. Chapter 4. Global Recognition Without Translation. As collaborations expanded, Bad Bunny worked alongside artists such as Balvin, Ozuna, and later appeared on tracks with Drake and Cardi B. But unlike many Latin artists before him, he did not pivot toward English-language albums to secure global fame. Instead, the market adapted to him. Streaming platforms reduced the importance of language barriers. Algorithmic discovery allowed Spanish-language tracks to compete globally without translation. Bad Bunny didn't cross over. He expanded the center. Chapter 5. The Albums That Shifted Culture. In 2018, he released his debut studio album, X100 PRE. It blended trap, reggaeton, alternative sounds, and even rock influences. The project signaled creative range beyond club hits. In 2020, during global lockdowns, he released YHLQMDLG and later El Último Tour del Mundo. The latter became the first all-Spanish language album to reach #1 on the Billboard 200. This wasn't just commercial success. It was cultural validation. Spanish language music was no longer a niche category in global charts. It was leading them. Chapter 6. Redefining Masculinity in Urban Music. Bad Bunny's influence extends beyond sound. He challenged traditional expectations of masculinity within Latin urban culture. He wore skirts, painted his nails, appeared in gender-fluid fashion campaigns. In a genre historically associated with rigid masculine codes, this was significant. It wasn't framed as controversy. It was presented as normal. Through fashion, interviews, and public statements, he advocated respect for women, LGBTQ+ communities, and Puerto Rican social issues. His platform evolved from entertainment to cultural influence. Chapter 7: The Stadium Era and Global Dominance. By the early 2000s, Bad Bunny had entered a new phase. His album Un Verano Sin Ti became one of the most streamed albums worldwide. He consistently ranked among Spotify's most streamed artists globally for multiple consecutive years. He sold out stadiums internationally, not as a crossover novelty, but as a Spanish-language headliner commanding global demand. This marked a structural shift in the music industry, a Puerto Rican artist performing primarily in Spanish, dominating global streaming charts. Chapter 8: Why Bad Bunny Won. Several strategic elements shaped his rise. He leveraged streaming early and effectively. He maintained cultural authenticity instead of diluting identity. He introduced emotional depth into a competitive genre. He built a distinct visual and fashion identity. He released music consistently, sustaining momentum. But beyond tactics, his greatest advantage was coherence. His music, fashion, public persona, and cultural stance all aligned. That alignment builds trust. Trust builds loyalty. Loyalty builds longevity. Chapter 9: The Broader Impact. Bad Bunny's success reshaped industry assumptions. He demonstrated that global influence no longer requires linguistic adaptation. He proved that vulnerability can coexist with commercial dominance, and he expanded the definition of what a Latin urban artist can represent. From a supermarket employee in Vega Baja to one of the most streamed artists in the world, the trajectory reflects more than talent. It reflects timing, strategy, authenticity, and cultural awareness. His story is not simply about fame. It is about rewriting the framework of global music power. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more breakdowns of the biggest business stories in the world, hit subscribe.